Hey everyone, welcome back to It's About Flippin' Time. At the start of the series, I had not just one, but 4 massive flat file cabinets. And the challenge I gave myself was to see just how many new pieces I could create out of them. Well, here we are at the very end, and I've managed to turn those 4 cabinets into 6 completely different pieces. Before we jump into the 6th and final transformation, let's take a look back at the first 5. First, I created a tall storage cabinet on casters with brass hardware, the perfect organizer. Then came a modern elevated cabinet with tapered legs, giving it that mid-century modern feel. Next, a coffee table makeover with a stained wood top and hidden storage. After that, a mobile workbench and art station with drawers and open shelving. And then a sleek modern console table with storage drawers and open cubbies, perfect for records and decor. And now it's time for the 6th and final piece. Built from what I thought might just be leftover scraps. Let's just see how this last project comes together. You guys thought I was done, right? Maybe I did too. But you know what? I've got to use every last little bit of those flat file cabinets. And I have one more in me, I think. Don't hold me to it because you never know. But I got one more. I mean, this could be something, right? It's kind of narrow. Can't do much with it, but I think I can make a little bookshelf. Obviously add some siding and some shelving and possibly some legs and a new top. But maybe I can do something fun with it instead of just making it a plain old bookshelf. What I'm working with here might not look like much at first, but it's actually the back side I cut off from the flat file cabinet when I built that mid-century modern console. But instead of tossing it aside, I knew I could get one more piece out of it. So here's a quick look back of how I got it down to this frame, cutting it free, cleaning it up, and removing the gliders. A lot of people might have called this just scrap wood, but I see the bones of something new taking shape. All right, you know the routine. Let's do this. First things first, I'm going to add an old piece from the bottom of a previous piece. We'll need to cut off a little bit, but I want to cut off about right there. Pretty thick piece. Let's see if this has got enough power to get through this. All right, I have some options. I wonder if we do something like that. See if I can, again, it helps me visualize. See if I can try to see what it would look like if they were on here. I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but give it a try. I'm gonna have to Are they too chunky? I might be able to cut them down a little bit though. Stare at them for a few. What if I just thinned them out a little bit? I also have these, but I don't know if they're too small. actually feel like anything taller could be a hazard. And maybe this is the kind of bookshelf you want to attach to your wall. Ah, who knew? I think I've had those probably 3 years, and now I've finally found something to do with them. I wonder, do I have? I might have a large enough piece for this top. I don't. That would be a no, but I can add, I know what I can add. And I already have several pieces of this that are already cut. And I have a feeling pretty close. But I have some more. I got a lot. I want to make this more than just a basic bookshelf. I want it to be fun. So I'll probably sketch some designs out, but I do have pieces that are just about the right thickness. I just need to trim them down a little bit. Let me do some, get some inspiration. Well, I sketched out a design. We'll see if I can do something like that. So I need to make a shelf. I think these are wide enough. Yep. Okay, so first, right here. Well, let's just cut them first, I guess. That's the first. I like to mark it and then measure. If I go right here, 27 and a quarter. A little more than 27 and a quarter. And I'm pretty right on. I'll cut it right here. See how that looks. Now that I know those fit, I should probably take them out so I can put the sides on. And those are right here. Just need to decide where to put these. These in. this is. So I'll go right in here. Should I have it go over or flush? I feel like it needs to go flush. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I include a lot of the behind the scenes, me talking to myself, going back and forth, and figuring out what I want to do as I'm working on a piece. And honestly, that's just how my brain works. I like to think out loud, I problem solve in real time, and I want you to see that part of the journey too. Furniture makeovers aren't always a straight line. I don't always have a full plan mapped out from the start. Sometimes I only know the general direction. The details come together as I'm cutting, sanding, or playing around with ideas. And I show you these messy in-between moments because that's where the creativity really happens. And I also want you to know it's okay if you don't have it all figured out before you start your own project. You don't need to know every single step in advance. Sometimes the best results come from experimenting, changing your mind, and being willing to pivot. That's how I work, and I think that's what makes these pieces unique. So this is what I've got. I've got these sliders. I'm gonna put right here. Oh, that one's perfect. Never mind, there's one. These will go right here. Let's cut this. What's the right length? It needs to be at least right here. So, let's do that first. These will go right here. Now I need to decide the size of the drawers. Do I want small ones? You may be asking, why drawers? Well, this was a flat file cabinet. I want to pay homage to what it was originally. Too big. It does work. All right, I've got all the drawer fronts done. Okay, and you can even fit a bottle. Let's get some trim on here. By now, I've actually gotten pretty good at making these little drawers. With each piece I've built from these flat file cabinets, I've had plenty of practice, cutting, fitting, gluing, and nailing them into place. It's kind of funny to think about because when I first started refinishing furniture, drawers used to intimidate me. Now they're almost second nature. Of course, these are still pretty straightforward boxes, simple joinery, functional and sturdy enough to last. But maybe one day I'll take it a step further and work my way into dovetail joints. That's a whole different level of craftsmanship. But who knows, each project I tackle teaches me something new, and this one is no different. I think I'm pivoting away from those legs, although I like them. I just don't think they kind of match the rest of the piece. They're a little small. I need something just a little bit beefier. So I found some other legs that I think will work better. So let's take these off. Good pivot. I think I've decided on the color, but first I'm going to prime this. Otherwise, you're going to be able to see the grain. Now it's time to add some color, and for this piece I'm using a shade called Card Catalog from Melange Paints. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know this is one of my go-to paint brands. Melange is a small family-owned business out of Texas, and I actually discovered them way back in 2021, just a few months after I started refinishing furniture. From the very first piece I tried, I fell in love with their products. The coverage, the durability, and honestly, the beautiful color selection. It's been a staple in my workshop ever since. What I love most about using this paint is how consistent it is. Whether I'm brushing, rolling, or spraying like I am here, it always goes on so smooth and gives me a professional finish. It takes all the second guessing out of the process and just lets me focus on bringing the vision for each piece to life. For a little extra touch, we're going to add a little liner. Instead of using peel and stick paper, I like to use fabric for the liners. It gives the drawers a softer, more elevated feel, and it really sets the piece apart from something you'd find mass-produced. Fabric is also more durable than peel and stick. It doesn't bubble, it doesn't shift around over time, and it holds up so much better to daily use. Plus, it lets me bring in a little more texture and personality to the inside of the piece, which I think is such a fun detail. It does take a little extra effort. You've got to measure, cut, and secure it carefully, but for me, the payoff is totally worth it. When you open the drawer and see that fabric liner, it just feels finished in a way that's both practical and beautiful. Look how much cleaner that looks. So nice. And here it is, the final piece in my Flat File Cabinet Makeover Series. What started out as one big bulky cabinet full of shallow drawers has now been completely reimagined into this cute little bookcase. To get here, I cut down the cabinet, cleaned it up, removed all the gliders, built out new shelves, and even made my own small drawers. I've gotten a lot of practice on those throughout the series, and with every piece I've gained a little more confidence. A fresh coat of card catalog by Melange Paints, some simple wood legs, and styled shelves brought this one together into a piece that feels brand new. And it all started with 4 flat file cabinets, and eventually I was able to make 6 completely new pieces. Each one was different, each one pushed me into new ways, and each one proved that with a little creativity, these forgotten cabinets could have a second life. Thank you for coming along with me in this journey. I hope you've been inspired to see the possibilities in pieces that others might pass over. And remember, it's about flipping time.